Welcome, Saints Nation. We are here on lovely Championship Sunday for some CRL action. Back again, I am Wyatt Swag Studios. Joined with me is Theo, the Holy Juan, and we had a busy day yesterday. It was a lot to get through on the first day of the third Open Qualifier. How do you feel after that, Theo?
I mean, it was a relatively simple day for the most part for the Saints. We're just sweeping their enemies left and right. But towards the end of the day, the last series against West Virginia Saints went down 2 games to 0, but were able to pull off the reverse sweep to stay in the upper bracket still in that double elimination, able to lose twice still in this tournament. So it's very important they're able to stay in the upper bracket. If they can win their first matchup today, they're going to be looking very, very good to maybe have another very high placement in the tournament.
Yeah, talking about a reverse sweep gets my heart pounding, but then also talking about how it was a reverse sweep into a game 5 overtime, I was on my heels. Like I was ready, edge of the seat, ready to just go and to like whatever it was because it was just an exciting game. It was an exciting match, and now at day 2, we have even better talent, we have even better teams, and we're going to have even better games today, and our first of which will be up against Concord, the trio of Helix, CMOS, and Crispy. Two European players and then one American player on the roster. It's going to be very interesting to face up against our own Saints.
Yeah, obviously a team that's all the teams today on day 2, very, very strong teams, top of the top, and Concord undefeated yesterday as well in the upper bracket. Definitely not overlooking anybody. I hope the Saints aren't, because we saw yesterday West Virginia was probably not too expected that they had the best odds going up against the Saints before that series, but they took a quick 2-0 lead and the momentum really shifted. So it took a lot for the Saints to come back. Hopefully today they're a bit more focused and they really respect their opponents, because Concord can come and strike fast.
Yeah, and it's day 1. Anything can happen. So you can get into the mental of where it's like, oh, I'm just going to 3-0, 2-0 every single team. We're just going to take it light. We're going to take it chill. We're not going to do a lot of prep beforehand. But then on day 2, you can't be thinking that. You can't be thinking I'm going to go into this tournament and wing it. You got to be ready. You got RLCS talent who are in these teams, in this collegiate league here. And another one to mention that I want to highlight is Maryville. One of the other upper bracket matches that we have is Maryville versus Northwood. And Maryville actually have 2 players, Speed and Relating Wave, who are on the same RLCS Rocket League World Championship Series team as Arju. So I'm expecting that we see them sometime in the future, possibly in the next match if we win and we get past Concord. And I think that's going to be interesting because we saw in the first Open that Arju was able to best his teammates, and we won against Maryville, who did have a very impressive first game, but then it was a bracket reset, and they didn't have enough momentum to get through that, and the Saints were just able to win throughout. And then the second qualifier, we didn't do as good. Northwood just came out of the north, came out of the cold, ready to just strike us down. And this Open, I am expecting another very heavy forward, very aggressive Maryville, and also a very well planned and organized Northwood. But then there are some other teams as well. One actually on my list that we're not going to see is Akron, which is surprising because they're another great team.
Yep.
But yeah, there's teams all around the board that I'm excited to see throughout the day. But we'll only get to one match if we win today against Concord. If we lose, we might get to face either Cumberland or Boise State.
Yeah, even in the lower bracket, as you said, Cumberland, Boise State, a lot of very, very strong teams, and I'm sure the Saints don't want to be going anywhere near the lower bracket anytime soon. So definitely they want to take this first win against Concord, and then they're going to be playing one of the top dogs, Northwood or Mayville, who were both top 2 last week and kind of in their prime form, really feeling themselves right now. What would you say are the keys for the Saints today to kind of just have a really good day, try and finish near the top of the leaderboard?
Yes, and ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I think we're going to get into our team lineup. Let's see who it is. The trio, the 3 lads, the gentlemen themselves. We have Arju, we have Jazzy, and we have Sai. These 3 made an absolute masterclass yesterday, going all games, winning, no losses to their backs, and now to come here in the upper bracket, this is where they love to be. This is where they're comfortable, and this is where they can shine.
Yeah, absolutely. They're always on this stage having a good time, even when things aren't going that well. You could see they're always smiling, making sure that not too much toxicity flowing around the players when things aren't going right, and they're really quick to make fix mistakes. These players, when something goes wrong, they quickly talk about it, they figure it out, and they get back on track very quickly. I think that's one of their best features. Is even when things aren't looking good, even when they go down in the series, they're always able to bring it back.
I mean, yeah, our match against West Virginia is a great example of that. We were on the ropes. We were about to be 3-0'd, but then the boys pulled it together. They came together, they worked together, and they were able to pull out the reverse sweep. And then today, I would expect that we're not going to be put in that similar situation, but we are going to be put up against the same caliber of talent and raw power that was West Virginia and a multitude of other different kinds of teams. So today is going to be a bigger challenge for them, but I am confident in the Saints' abilities that they will be able to pull through a win today. First place is where we're shooting, baby.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're thinking anything less than first place. Obviously, probably most of the teams that are still left in the tournament, that's their only goal here, first place. That's how they should be thinking, a winner's mindset. Not to get cocky, but to be confident is very important, especially at the highest level. We're going to be getting into game probably pretty soon. Before we do, let's get some predictions from you in this first series. How do you think the Saints will match up against Concord?
You know, I can't take a prediction yet. I can't actually predict the future until we look at the past. So I hear we've got some statistics from yesterday to
Okay.
pull up to talk about what actually happened and how the boys did. Let's take a look at it. We've got Cy. Looks like he went 4 goals, 2 assists, and 1 save and 9 shots, I believe, in their game against Drexel, which was another close game that we had to face up against. Our game before them. So it was pretty good, and I think they played out really well in that series.
Yeah, a lot of good performances from the Saints. This is just another one that stood out. Everybody on the team does a great job with setting each other up, making plays for one another. And yes, while the individual statistics look nice, the team has just been playing so well. Everybody making big plays. Because Zai had 4 goals there. We saw Zai make a lot of big saves yesterday when it really mattered. A lot of clutch moments. So the stats are very nice, but there's a lot of stats that aren't shown there that are also very impressive.
I mean, yeah, you talk about stats that aren't normally seen. You talk about demos. You talk about bumps.
Yeah.
You talk about cutting rotation. You talk about stealing
Boost.
boost. Like, there is no concrete way on broadcast that we can actually analyze that and put that on screen for people to see. As casters, we can recognize that, but that's hard to understand because stealing 100 boost out from your enemy team is going to be helpful to push your aggression or prepare them for a defensive movement because that will just give you a more resource to work with. And then demoing or bumping someone out of rotation will cause it to be in a 3v2 scenario where you have the advantage whether you're on attack or defense. And then flips as well. Flips, if you don't have a flip reset or if you've lost your flip for some sort of reason and you have to have one of your teammates to come in and help you because you don't have enough boost, you don't have the flip, and you're in an awkward position, there's really not a lot you can do. So there's a lot to consider in Rocket League. Even though it may seem very simple, just soccer with cars, there's a lot more to digest.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing I do want to say quickly before we do get underway, one thing about the Saints is sometimes they overextend a little bit. They leave their net a bit too vulnerable, and they rely on these hero saves, these hero plays. Sometimes they don't happen and just looks like an open goal. I think today it's going to be very key for the Saints to try and play a bit more composed, not rely on those hero plays because one time it doesn't work out. You don't make that hero save on a ball that's really hard to make a save on, and you go down a goal. Yesterday it worked out for them. They made some very clutch plays, had some very clutch timings, but against the best of the best, you're going to go up against more opportunities like that where it's going to be impossible to get to a ball in the top corner when you're flying across the net. So I think one important key for the Saints is to play a bit more solid defense. Don't make too many mistakes overextending, and don't leave your net wide open.
I agree with you 100%. The Saints love to play that hero role. They love to go in for those very risky opportunities to either get a goal or to get a save and to, as you said, play the hero. But, I'm not going to leave you on the hook with your question. We are going to be getting to some predictions. But before that, let's take a look at our bracket. We've mentioned some names. We've talked a little bit about who we're going to be facing up. And right now, let's show it to you guys, ladies and gentlemen, at home. I mean, as we said, Concord will be a first up for us today, and then we were also going to wait on Maryville versus Northwood. Looks like West Virginia and Fisher College are also facing off, and then I mentioned before Boise State versus Cumberland, which if we lose this game, we will be facing facing the winner of that one. And honestly, my prediction has to be on Boise State versus Cumberland. It has to be Boise State.
Yeah, I mean, Boise, a very strong team. Cumberland, also a strong team. And, that series has not wrapped up yet, which means it's probably going to distance. So it's a very, very close series, obviously, for lower bracket teams. One loss, and they're out of the tournament. So all the teams left in the lower bracket cannot afford any mistakes. And all four teams down there are going to be fighting for every inch they can get.
Indeed, and especially when you have such big powerhouses in the upper bracket, like if I had to put a prediction to Maryville versus Northwood, I would have to say Maryville just because of how I know them in the RLCS scene and then also how they have performed in the past. I mean, we've got our first place and third place under our belt, Theo, don't get us wrong. But Maryville have been consistent every single open so far. Second place is theirs, it's their home, and they love it. And I think they would like to either stay in that position or more definitely get into that first position because they've come second to us, they've come second to Northwood. I think it's time that they claim that first spot.
Yeah, and they definitely feel like they deserved it last week. They were able to go flawless through the entire tournament till the finals against a Northwood team that was having a bit of an interesting tournament. Northwood, to start off day 2 last week, got 3-0'd by the Saints, instantly dropping to the lower bracket. Then they were able to come back, beat the Saints, go up against Maryville in the finals. Bracket reset, I believe it was game 7, and then another game 7 after the bracket reset, and it was just a grueling match. The fact that North were able to pull it off, I mean, shows their resilience after going down 3-0 in the very first series of their day. So Northwood, they're going up against Maryville again. They had their number last week for 2 series in a row, but as you said, Maryville, they're coming back with vengeance, and they're not going to be too happy about what happened last week.
Yes, and now for the also big question. You asked me it, Theo. Predictions for this game. We've got a best of 5 on our hands,
Yeah.
so I'm not going to say it's going to be a full sweep because we have definitely a good game on our hands. We've got Concord, we've got Helix, we've got CMOS, we've got Crispy up against our own Arju, Sai, and Jazzy. If I had to put a prediction on it, I would say we win, but we don't win in stylish fashion. I would have to say we win in either a 3-1 or more likely 3-2 scenario.
I must agree with you on that one. I'm gonna go 3-1 straight up, maybe even a sweep, but I think definitely 3-1 is very, very probable. I think it just matters how the Saints start. I feel like if the Saints win the first game, we could very well see a sweep. But if they lose the first game, then something like 3-1, 3-2 is more on the cards. Obviously, we saw yesterday a reverse sweep. We know our Saints will not go down without a fight. But when they do start off hot and they play good right off the bat, they're a hard team to slow down.
Absolutely, and it's about that momentum. It's about teams that can keep their pace and not get thrown off of their toes, get thrown off of their balance. When they do, that's when they start to crumble and they start to break. And for Saints, if they're winning that first game, I'm going to be all said and done. I'm going to put the house on the line and say it's going to be a 3-2, 3-1 game.
Yeah, definitely for sure. I think that's a good way to look at it. We're going to be getting into game relatively soon. Do you expect what kind of strategy do you expect from the Saints? Do you expect to see what we saw yesterday, or do you expect more fundamental play, less of these risky 2-man pinches, stuff like that? Do you think we're going to see that against Concord or no?
I'm gonna say X-nay on the pinches. I'm gonna say that we don't go for too many of those riskier plays because the Saints up against an enemy like Concord cannot risk giving them possession. When you give them possession and you give them space through executing pinches, that just gives them time to collect boost, to reorganize themselves, and come up with a quick plan on the fly because Rocket League is a really quick game. It's not like any other esports like League of Legends or Valorant where you have a little bit of time in the mid round to actually think about, okay, this is what happened, this is what we're going to do. In Rocket League, it is 5 minutes. 5 minutes. That is not a lot of time to make a very strategic plan. So you have to be on point and quick with it. You have to know how you're going to do it and how you're going to execute it. And you also have to know how your other team plays. I think possession is the name of the game, and also control of boost and rotation are 2 things that you also have to mention. But possession, I think, overrules everything. If you have possession on the ball and you can get good 50s and you can set up your team for good shots by forcing other people into through awkward scenarios. I think that's what separates the teams that are going to be in this upper bracket versus the ones that are going to drop into the lower bracket.
Yeah, and I think the most important thing is just staying true to their plan. Obviously, they're a very, very well coached team and have a lot of experience under their belts. And the important thing for them is just to have their plan and follow it. Even if it doesn't go right, keep following it until they're ready for a change. And look at that. Starting off hot, Concord starting off this series with a kick-off goal. That's a great start for them and not one that the Saints will be too happy about.
You know, we talked about momentum starters, and it seems like that is not the way you want to start a game here. You do not want to be losing to a first goal in the first 3 seconds of your first match, but let's see if the Saints can come back after it. CMOS going to get a cheeky demo there onto Arju, and now it's on the Saints side, and Concord are looking to push up, looking to apply the pressure, and CMOS is there to lead. He gets it over one, but cannot find the other, and Crispy is there to help, but can't find anything either, and Sai is going to clear this out, has a little bit of boost in the pocket, keep a little bit of control there, try to get it in the net, but Crispy is there for the save.
Yeah, great save there. Quick action to start off this game one. Both teams having a couple dangerous shots on target already, but good start for Concord. They're just cruising right now, up a goal, but Saints look to put on the pressure. Nice cross into the middle there by Zai, but it is going to be cleared out. Jazzy finds a demo onto Seamus, but the the clear was there in time as Helix trying to start the attack. Zai there in the corner trying to win it back for his team. Jazz is going to be forced to find a defensive stop there as it's going to be Concord with a bit of a dangerous opportunity here, but Jazzy there in plenty of time to find the initial clear. Zai should be able to get rid of this one for the side of the Saints as they look to start their own attack towards the middle of the field. Goes the ball. Zai into the corner. It's going to drop right in front of the net. The shot's not on target. Jazzy tries to get a good one there, but Crispy was there in plenty of time to make the save.
Something we're seeing a lot more than the last games from day one is a lot more demos, and that's what I like to see because those demos are crucial for getting people out of positions that they can defend from or that they can cause a potential threat to the other team. And Crispy is up in the air right now trying to make something happen, trying to put on some magic, but doesn't seem to happen for him. And now Arju is just going to fly through the air. Now Jazzy's going to get beat as well. It's only Sai back. He has to play it to his corner, and he's grabbed the 100 boost, and it works out for them because it seems like Helix and CMOS had a little bit of a collision there in the front of the net.
Yeah.
Now Jazzy is up for it, doesn't have enough boost, so Sai is going to be there to support him. Gets a flip reset out to Arju. Arju has it on the backboard, but doesn't find any shot off of that, and Crispy can get the clear.
Yeah, what we saw yesterday was the Saints, when they pulled off those plays, when they had that third man flying in, he was always wide open. But against a team like Concord, they've seen this so many times. They've made their research worthwhile, and that shot gets blocked immediately. No real chances really for the Saints other than that one big one that was saved out. Concord up a goal. They're not even pushing too far forward. They're just making sure they didn't give up a goal, and they're going to try and take a quick one as Zai has to make a big save. Jazzy gets a demo as well, which slows down the progress of Concord. Helix now looking to start the attack himself. A good defense there by the Saints, but the shot is on target, and Crispy going to be able to find the finish off of Helix's assist. Gives Concord a 2-goal cushion.
That is not what you want to see for the side of the Saints. I mean, it was a great way for Helix to get up there and then force it for Crispy. And then we also saw another attempted play there where Sai was on low boost. He was on the backboard. He was trying to defend the shot. And Concord were trying to bump him out. They were trying to get him out of the play. And that's what you need to see in this high-level gameplay is you need to see people communicating and saying, hey, get the last guy on the defense out, and I've got a clean shot. I've got a free open net. And it seems like the Saints are trying to push through this, trying to hammer through the defense, but they're not putting it on the net. They're getting the shots a little too high, and Concord are just working a little more organized and a little more concise. So it's causing a lot of trouble for the Saints right now as it's in their side. Sai is now up to the ball, has a little bit of boost to play with. He's going to try to get it over one. He does, past CMOS, but doesn't get it past the next. Now CMOS is going to bang it out for the clear, but Sai is there in the mid to stop it. CMOS is there to start it back up, and Sai is up yet again to to try and get it out. Now Arju from the backboard down to Jazzy, takes it down all the way, but it's saved out by Seamos, who's on the backboard now, and he's going to take it all the way. Going to try to 50 side, beautiful 50 to keep it on their side. And now Crispy is up next to follow, gets a little bit of an awkward 50 there in the air, doesn't work out for him too much, but Helix is there to also try and get a ground pinch, doesn't come out either. And now it's still on the Saints side. There's Concord are still applying a lot of the pressure, but Saints have got to get out of this because they only have a minute left to make something happen.
Yeah, a minute left to score a couple goals. Saints haven't really had too many opportunities here as Concord has played a very, very solid game one from the opening seconds after getting that first goal. Haven't really made any mistakes on the defensive end. And speaking of mistakes on the defensive end, Saints make another one where the net's wide open. Obviously, down 2 goals. They're going to be a little bit more aggressive, and this isn't a big surprise. They were already in some deep waters. Concord, though, will pick up their third, and that's going to be the nail in the coffin here probably in game one. I mean, Concord looking very strong and showing that they definitely belong with the top dogs.
You know, Concord have realized exactly what we were talking about before. St. Clair love to play the hero plays, and they love to try and go for these solo plays, but it doesn't work out when you have people like Helix, who is going to work together with his team. You can see Crispy there getting Arju out of the way, and with Sai just in an awkward position on the backboard, could not make a defensive save.
Yeah, another goal for Concord. Obviously, doesn't matter too much already. This game one is basically over, just a formality at this point, and Saints, they're going to have to fix up a lot in going into this game too. I mean, Concord just seemed to have them figured out on every single aspect. Every single shot that's coming through feels like there's 3 defenders are ready to defend it. Saints maybe have to throw in a bit of fakes here and there, try and get Concord on the back foot, but easy, smooth sailing game one for Concord from the opening seconds. I think Saints allowing that kickoff goal definitely got them off guard a little bit, as game one's going to end Concord take it 4 goals to 0.
You know, the first game loss is not something you want to see for the Saints. We talked about that. We talked about the momentum shifter. But especially like 4 goals to 0 is not something you want to be starting out on. The boys tried to put as much as they could behind them as far as shots and also working together as a team. But I mentioned it before, and I was interrupted by Helix's 4th goal there. But they like to play like the hero. They like to go for these riskier opportunities, which I admire them for, because at my diamond level, I would not be going for those kinds of shots. But at their level, they are confident in their ability, they are confident in their mechanics, and they are confident that they can be shining stars. But that's where they're weak, is when they think that they can be shining stars, it leaves opportunities for who's going to be back to defense, who's going to play the supportive character. Because if you want to be the best and you want to be the star of your team, and that's going to be everybody on the squad, there's going to be no one who's going to be thinking, you know what, I'm going to step back, I'm going to support the rest of my team, and I'm going to play the anchor that plays a more defensive role. And that's where you get them in these situations where they have the mindset of, oh, I want to be the best, I want to shine, I want to do all that I can, and then when they're put in that defensive position, they don't know what to do.
Yeah, and the problem with those hero plays is at the highest level of Rocket League, the skill difference of the top players is just so minimal. All these players know every single mechanic. There's a big save from Azai, a good opportunity from Concord. Again, early seconds of the game. It seems like Saints are just kind of caught a bit off guard by Concord here, who are playing very, very well in the first minute of each game so far, and they're pushing through again. Crispy gets it over the defender. Another big save needed by Zaya. Saints really struggling to get control here, but a shot on target comes through. Helix is there for the save. Jazzy now tries to get it down to a teammate. Zaya might have a shot on target, but no, the clearance is there. Nobody's back to defend, but it wasn't on target, thankfully. A minute through, still scoreless. Saints looking for their first goal of the series.
You know, the Saints right now seem a little less organized and a little more on like autopilot. I mean, I saw Sai there. He went up to try and challenge Helix, who just had a better position and just had to jump on him on the ball, and he couldn't do anything else. And he was trying to force for his teammates. But here's the thing: there was no one behind. Everybody was in front of him. Why are you trying to force for your teammates when you don't have anyone behind to to force four. So that's the thing is you see them going for these like just automated, just autopilot kind of plays and kind of style right now, which isn't working out for them. Concord have been able to put a lot more shots on the net, and we see another attempted one there out from CMOS trying to redirect it into the net. Doesn't work out for them, but that's what we need to see from the Saints. We need to see them
Oh,
working more as a team, and Crispy is just gonna slot one right in the net off of the demo.
another easy goal for Concord. Didn't really take too much setup, just one demo from Helix and a bump. Made so much space all alone, and Concord are in full thrall right now. Take another lead over St. Clair in game 2. Saints really need to lock it in here and start playing their best Rocket League Azai. Looking to get a goal back quickly. Didn't find the demo there onto the defender, which is what we just saw from Concord. But there's Arju, a solo goal. Much needed a boost for the Saints here. Let's see it again. Takes it over the defender and gets a beautiful tap in. That's a 1-1 game.
It's a great goal to tie up the game, get them a little bit closer to the series to taking a game onto their side, but still, it's those solo goals and it's
Uh-oh.
those heroes moments that they're going for, and it's not working
Again?
out for them. Helix is just gonna say, you know what, off the kickoff, let's get another goal, and we'll take the lead.
You have to explain to me, how does this happen twice in 2 games against a very top team?
Against very top teams, as you said, all of them are very similar in skill and mechanics and knowledge of the game. So the only thing you can really kind of control is those first couple seconds off of the kickoff, which is very crucial for most teams who have kickoff strategies to try and work for them. And it seems like Concord definitely did their research on kickoff strategies, because that is twice now that they've gotten kickoff goals. And there's a third attempt from Crispy to try and get a goal on net off of a solo play with a little bit of support from his teammates. Banged out now from Sai. Arju's in the corner. Guys trying to get it out for him yet again. But he's up, and he doesn't have shape on the ball, and Crispy is just able to clear it. Jazzy has to take it to his corner now, where Arju has a little bit of boost to play with, but Jazzy's just going to pinch it out to where Crispy is. Crispy's now going to clear it down to where Sai is in the field, ready to intercept it. Gets a flip reset on it, gets it over Helix, but CMOS is there to support it, and Crispy is there to follow it up. Gets one touch, but now it's into the corner. CMOS tries to go for a really awkward touch there, but now Helix is on the ball as well. Crispy up to follow, might beat Sai there. No, Sai beats him, but he gets the demo onto Sai.
And now Arju has a bit of a one-on-one here, tries to get it to himself off of the wall there. Zai can be the one picking it up, but Concord, relentless defense, going to be able to slow down the attack of the Saints. And a shot on target maybe coming through here. Crispy kind of been the hero here for Concord, picks up one more and gives them a 3-1 lead.
A beautiful double tap off of the backside. Didn't have the boost and didn't have the right position to cover that angle, and that's what I talked about before, is when you have players that want to play aggressive, they want to play up, they want to show their stars, and they want to show how well they can play this game, that leaves a defensive line open, and then that gives Concord the opportunity to get in there and slide as many goals as they want. And now, hopefully in the last minute and 30 seconds, they can change it up now. They can start playing a little bit more defensively, but keep their aggression, as CMOS is looking to get another one on the board to make it 4-1. Doesn't just yet, and Helix and Crispy are up now, but it's now coming back to the side of Concord with Sai to lead it. Gets it over one, tries to get it under another, but cannot find it past CMOS. The Concord defense has just been immaculate so far.
Yeah, it feels like Concord always have numbers back, not making any mistakes. The only goal the Saints had was a nice solo goal by Arju, but other than that, not much threat here for Concord, who have only played from ahead in this series, have never been behind. There's a dangerous chance for the Saints, and an easy goal for Zai. Not sure what Concord did. Right as I say, they're playing solid defense. They just let the ball drop in. Crispy just fully whiffs on it, and a free goal for the Saints, much needed, gets them right back in his game.
I think that was just a mistake from Crispy. I mean, he didn't touch it, and then that left Helix in a really awkward position for just Sai to capitalize on it, because he knew how the ball was going to bounce, and he knew Helix was not going to have any shape onto it, and gave them their second goal, made it a little bit closer, and now 45 seconds left. Saints have to get one goal to send it to overtime. A double pass attempted out from Sai and Jazzy, but doesn't come to fruition. Now Arju's going to clear it back down and get a couple demos as well.
Oh, is that on
demos are lighting up, and Jazzy is going to get it on the pitch. Another goal for the Saints off of a beautiful pinch from the side.
Yeah, it feels like Saints are really warming up now. That passing play was beautifully played. Obviously, amazing defense by Concord to read it out, but the mechanics are on full display from the Saints now. We're tied up at 3. They're right back in this game. I thought we were about to see another kickoff goal there, Wyatt. I
Oh,
saw you get a bit of a heart attack, but no, that one's not going to go in. And the next goal will probably be the winner. There's going to be a dangerous opportunity right off the crossbar. That's one that Concord will definitely want back. A golden opportunity to steal this second game. Now they're going to have to work a little bit harder for it. They still have a dangerous attack coming up. Crispy going forward. Zai makes the save on the goal line. Looks like we'll be getting our first overtime of the series.
it's my favorite word in esports, and I love to see it every time, especially in Rocket League. We got overtime, 3-3. Next goal wins, and it might be
Uh-oh.
a 2 lead for Concord if Saints have anything to say about it. Hopefully, looking to tie it up now. Crispy is on the ball next. Leading it down to the St. Clair Saints side. Is going to get it over side, but Arju is there with low boost to hit it out. But Helix has it out. Jazzy doesn't have any boost, and Sai has to try and make the save. But Helix has the right positioning, has the right support from his team, and slots the ball in the right side.
Yeah, it seems like off of the kickoffs early into the possessions, Concord completely outclassed the Saints. They're able to find these goals, these dangerous opportunities. I'm just not sure what the Saints scouting was like before the game. They should have had plenty of time to get ready for Concord, and the fact that these early plays are coming in for them, I mean, it's just not a good look for the Saints, who are expected to be one of the top teams in the entire tournament, letting easy goals like this go in.
Yeah, and hey, maybe the Saints like to play a little bit on the edge. Maybe they want a little bit more of an adrenaline rush to what we had yesterday, and they want to pull an exact same reverse sweep on Concord, because that's what they have to do now. They're now down 2 games, and Concord are 1 away from taking them to the losers bracket, where they may face Cumberland or Boise State. The Saints, they pulled off one yesterday, but can they do it again?
I mean, it looked a bit more dire yesterday in this last game. Saints were able to get a couple goals back. It showed a bit of life, but I feel like the fact that they weren't able to take that second game after a nice comeback is really going to put a dent in their plans. So, from what's looking at now, Concord definitely looking a lot stronger. But we saw it yesterday. The Saints definitely capable for a reverse sweep. So, not out of the picture yet. It's not over until it's over. Have at least 5 more minutes of Rocket League left in this series, and Saints really need to put their best foot forward to bring the series back.
Yep, they've got to do exactly as they have been doing, but they got to do it a little better. They sent it to an overtime, which was definitely better than the first game.
A lot
but
better.
we mentioned it that
Oh,
they can't be giving Concord these opportunities off of the kickoff to get those cheeky goals, and then they can't also leave their defensive line open. As now Helix has got to take it out from his side. Saints are applying a lot of aggression, but now Helix is back, and there's only one. Gets a little bit of a misread there, and now has to get it over
oh.
Arju and Sai. Has to try and clear it out for Crispy, but a little bit of a skirmish leads it back to the Concord side of the pitch. Tries to get it in, but Arju just barely misses it to get it into the goal, giving them an early lead.
That was a golden opportunity for the Saints there to take their first lead of the series. They have not led so far in this series through the first 10 plus minutes of a Rocket League here. But now it looks like they're finally going to get a good attack going. Zai trying to get it towards the middle, but no bumps coming out from the Saints, which hasn't really helped them out. It feels like Concord are able to defend so freely. I feel like if Saints get a couple bumps here and there, they can really stop the defense of Concord, who are now on the attack. They get over one defender. Crispy's going to get into the corner, as his team was not set up for anything more than that. And now Zai on the counterattack, trying to take it over his defender. It gets it into the middle. Jazzy isn't going to be able to get a touch on that. Helix double demo instantly stops the progress of the Saints. Concord playing a lot more physically here than the Saints. Finding these bumps and demos has definitely led to their advantage.
Crispy gets it over one, tries to get it under another with CMOS there to help him. He's up on the wall now, but Jazzy is there to counteract it. Now Arju is on the ball as well, but doesn't get it past Helix, who's now 50'd out by Jazzy. Sai up to the ball next. Doesn't have a lot of boost, neither do either of his teammates, but now Jazzy is picked up on 100, and taking it from the back is going to try to get over CMOS, but sadly doesn't. Arju has to be there to try and support him with Crispy close to follow. Bangs it out right to Sai. Now it's up in the air. Jazzy has to try and get it out of their net and has to get it out of in front of their net to try and get it on the other side of the pitch because Concord are just applying a lot of aggression right now, one after the other. They're coming in with full tanks of boost and they're draining Saints of their own boost, so it's not working out for them right now. It looks like a good demo out from Jazzy might open up an opportunity unless CMOS has anything to say about it, but Arju now on the ball gets a little bit of a good touch there. Now Crispy is up for it again. Coming back to the side of Concord now, but looks like it might stop swiftly if Helix and CMOS have anything
Oh,
to say about it. Gets over him, gets over one, but no, Jazzy doesn't have the shot and has a good save out from CMOS. It's the closest Saints have been so far to getting a lead in this series.
yeah, it feels like when Saints don't give away an early goal, they play much better. It's a well-contested game 3 here, 0-0. Neither team able to find the upper edge. Here's Jazzy, though, flying it out of nowhere. Two defenders there. Should have tried and put that one at the top of the net, but the defense from Concord is there in time. Feels like it's just a matter of time before the Saints get one of these good opportunities to go in the back of the net. There's Arju over to Jazzy Ray. As I say it, they're able to get it if they want to pull off the reverse sweep. That's a great start. They take a 1-0 lead.
That's what you need to see from the boys, is you need to see a little bit of teamwork right there. Arju clearing it out for Jazzy, and Jazzy able to get there with the boost, with the support to get their lead in the game. Now, less than 2 minutes remaining. Concord have to answer back unless Saints can start that reverse sweep.
Yeah, 1:46 left. It feels like the Saints have finally hit their stride. They're playing a lot better, I would have to say, but have to be careful here on this defense. This is a golden opportunity for Concord, and Saints just fall apart defensively. They have the 1-goal lead. I'm not too sure why so many of their members are so far forward. Feels like definitely an unnecessary play, and they just give a goal away to Concord.
I've seen that so many times now where is anybody on the St. Clair Saints green side where they've gone for the ball but they've just missed it, and Crispy out with an amazing save a couple of pixels closer, and that would have been in and given St. Clair a little bit of a lead there. But what I was saying before is that Saints, they are missing the ball in a lot of opportunities, and that's giving opportunities to Concord where they can get the ball in. And we saw that. Jazzy missed a touch and allowed Crispy to get that double tap off the backboard. And now Saints, tied up, they have to answer back. They have to think about covering all their angles and being a little more accurate with their shots and defensive saves. As Sai is on the aggression, trying to get in front of the net for his teammate. It is, but CMOS is going to clear it all the way down the field. And now it's stuck in the middle a little bit. Sai and Crispy there to challenge it. Sai still on the ball. Arju might look for a bump, but no, opts to support Sai because he's a little challenged in the corner. And now CMOS is there as well. The entire Concord team are on this ball. They've just been manhandling this ball like a bunch of wild animals and not allowing Saints any opportunity to get some possession.
Yeah, and there's a miss by Jazzy. What a save, though, by Zai, keeping the Saints in this one. 30 seconds remaining. We might be headed to another overtime. Not too much left. Not too much time left in this third game. It's going to be Crispy trying to start the attack. Is he going to be able to get a nice pass to anybody? No, Arju picks it out. Jazzy gets a nice tap, but there's Helix with the easy control. Gets it over to his teammate. They clear that one out. No danger for Concord. And 5 seconds left. Last attack here for Concord. Will they be able to finish it off before overtime? Doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Not too much life here. The Saints get a shot full court, but there's Simas ready to defend, making sure no silly goals drop in for the Saints here. And that's actually going to be kept up for quite a bit. Now it's going to be Concord with an opportunity. This ball is refusing to touch down. The Saints looking to clear it out. Can Jazzy keep it up? No, it gets spiked down. Yet again, we're going to another overtime.
This is the moment, St. Clair Saints. You got to get one on the board in this overtime, or it's done for you, and you're sent to the loser's bracket to try and fight your way back into this grand finals opportunity. Jazzy, looking to not get sent down to the lower bracket, is up there, but gets beaten out by CMOS. Now cleared all the way down. Arju has to make a risky save there, and now he's beat from Crispy, who keeps it onto their side. Now Sai, off of the backboard, has to try and 50 Helix in the air. He does, but then Arju has to be there to support him to take it out of his possession. A nice little pinch off of the sidewall is quickly cleared out by Crispy as well. And Helix down the pitch tries to get a little bit of a flip reset to send it into the goal, but it's denied by Sai. And now Arju off of the back goes for the double tap, but it's blocked out by CMOS. What an absolute star-striking game so far. Both teams are looking for this. The possible pinch out from CMOS and Helix, but it doesn't come through for anybody. And we're just about in our first minute of overtime.
Yeah, I mean, this is a great overtime so far. It's really heating up now. Does not feel like it's a 2-0 series. Feels like we just started. Zai had a golden opportunity to give his team the first game of this series, but again, just missing it when it matters most. It feels like that's the name of the game here for the Saints, struggling to find the big plays in the clutch. And Concord on the flip side have been very good. They're going to get an open shot, but Helix missed times. It puts it into the corner where both of the Saints defenders were set up, and Saints going to live to see another day. Concord with all the attacking momentum here. Saints struggling to get out of their own half here as the pressure keeps mounting and mounting. Crispy gonna just tap it up there now. Finally, Saints can get some room to breathe with. But Concord feels like they have more than 3 members. It feels like every time the ball's in the neutral area, they're first to it. Arju gonna find that clearance. Crispy though gets it over to Z-Mouse. It's a dangerous challenge there, and now it's gonna be a chance for the side of Concord. The shot is gonna be there. Crispy finds the finish, and it's gonna be Concord finding the clean sweep against the Saints.
You know, you talk about room to breathe, and I don't think Concord were giving Saints anything. It seemed like for at least 60% of that game, it was always on the St. Clair Saints side, where they were given pressure from Concord, and they were just relentless with it. They had the boost to also supply that, so I expect that there was a lot of stealing out through there throughout the entire game that allowed Concord to get the advantage, where Saints were boost starved and they didn't have enough to make good saves. And then we saw a lot of times where there were 2 Saints defenders in the net. That is something you never want to see. You want to have trust in your team to allow one defender to be back there to be able to defend against one attacker. When you're on there and you decide to put up that 2-1 defensive line and they're beating you like that, that's something to note for the books, and that's something to look over once you go through your VOD reviews.
Yeah, absolutely. Concord, let's just say how it is. We're the better team in that series. Maybe it shouldn't have been a 3-0, but we're very well deserved a victory for them, which means Saints are sent down to the lower bracket. Concord, a very good tournament from them so far. They're in the upper bracket finals. They're looking very, very good to put up some big points for themselves. But now Saints do or die. They cannot lose this next series. And they're going to need to really lock in after a pretty poor performance.
Yes, it'll be Boise State or Cumberland, and we'll figure that out shortly. But after this game, Theo, what do you think the Saints have to improve on? We talked a little bit about it, but to nail it down, to get one key thing that they have to improve on going to this next game, which I am confirmed that it will be Cumberland, what do you think they have to nail down?
I think the main thing is they never held the lead once this entire series, if I'm not wrong. They were always either tied or playing from behind. I feel like that's a recipe for disaster. They give up 2 kickoff goals in crucial moments, one to start off the series and one right after tying up the game. So just clutch moments have really not gone in their way, and we've seen them. They're pretty clutch players, but in that series, they were not too clutch. There were some moments where they should have had some goals, should have had some saves that definitely should be happening from the level of these players, and they just didn't happen. So I think in the clutch, just having those moments go in their favor is the biggest thing for them, and the players know they're very capable of these moments.
Yeah, I think they need to stop spreading themselves so thin and thinking of themselves as each an individual player, because that feeds into the mindset we were talking about being like hero players, about being the rising and shining star that lights up the field and gets all of the goals. Like, you can't have that mentality when you're at this collegiate level, when you're in CRL grand finals and the open qualifiers. You can't have that. You need to be able to work together as a team. You need to be able to come together, and like how Concord showed us explicitly, they were able to connect. They were able to force for each other. They were able to pinch through the weak defensive opportunities that Saints gave to them. And that was all from realizing that the Saints don't like to play too much on the defensive end. They love to be aggressive. They love to be up there. And they also love to play that stylish fashion. They love to bring out something flashy for the crowd, something for the people at home to be like, wow, I can't believe Sai just hit that double reset musty flick off of the backboard. Like, something to talk about for the next couple of weeks. But that is insignificant to talking about winning an actual championship, which is what they need to be focusing on.
Yeah, absolutely. And, now they need to be perfect for the rest of the day. If they drop one more series, they're going to be out early, and that's definitely not what they expected. I think anything other than a top 3 finish for the Saints is seen as a unsuccessful tournament. They worked so hard yesterday to have a flawless day, and I would say they got a bit lucky that they didn't have to face either Northwood or Maryville in their first matchup, and kind of blew the opportunity against a team they should be beating in Concord. So hopefully they can really lock in here in this lower bracket and make a good run for themselves.
Yes, and we will have that game underway for you, lovely ladies and gentlemen, at home. It will be St. Clair Saints versus Cumberland. We will see that in just a few minutes after a quick break. We are into the game, ladies and gentlemen, underway. Cumberland University versus our St. Clair Saints Green. If they lose this, it will be out of the third qualifier. But if they win, they will move on through the bracket, and then it'll be taken over by Rocket League for the rest of the day. But nonetheless, we have to get through this first, and starting it out strong. What a great save out from Jazzy. Theo, we saw that last game, and now coming into this, do you think the Saints had enough time to change their mental and get back into this game, or do you think we might see another possible 3-0 sweep?
No, I definitely think the Saints will look to lock in here. I don't think they want their day two ventures to end this early, and I think Cumberland is definitely going to be a tough test. They're coming straight off a win. They have the forward momentum. Saints just got swept, as you said, so they're going to be a bit on the back foot to start off, but good to see they didn't give up a goal super early this time in this series, which means Cumberland haven't really set the tone for how this series is going to look, and Saints looking a bit more like themselves. Haven't scored just yet, but, they're on a better track than they were to start last series.
Yep, and now up against Cumberland. They're bringing a lot of aggression. Next is going to get Sai out of the game for a small little bit. Now Polar is on the ball. Gets it just over Jazzy, who has to fly down now. Doesn't have any boost in the tank. Leaving it up to Arju to try to get it past Next. He does, but Knight is there for the defense over both attackers, denying Arju and Jazzy any goals to start it out. And now they're coming back. They're putting on the aggression because they have a little bit of boost to put it forward. But now Arju is there to stop it. Gets a flip reset also to give it over to Jazzy, who tries to set it up for Sai in the mid, but Sai is not there quick enough, and now has to keep it on their side to allow his teammates to get some boost and get back. And now Arju on the pitch has some boost, gets it over one, gets bumped out of the rotation, and cannot follow it up, leaving it over to Next to get it over Sai, and tries to get it past Jazzy, but doesn't come in. But Polar able to sweep it out and smack it right in the goal.
And the counterattack from Cumberland is beautiful. Seems like Saints have really struggled against counterattacks over the past few days. Has been, I would say, their biggest weakness, where they're attacking, and all of a sudden the other team just randomly picks up a goal. So Cumberland gonna strike first in this series. Saints really struggling to find leads in any of the games today, as they haven't led once all day yet. I think until that happens, it's going to be impossible for them to win a series.
It is, and they have to start getting that lead. They have to start putting balls into the goal, and that starts with them working more as a team and connecting more on some passing plays. I haven't seen a lot of that out from the Saints, and I think that's what we need to see, is we need to see them playing to the passing plays. As we see right there, Knight's going to pass it to Polar to leave it up to Next, but now Sai has it off of the backboard, looking for the double tap, and lands it right in the goal off of a beautiful pass from Arju as well. What a way to even it out off of the back of the board, a clean cut angle to tie it up.
What a goal there by Zai, much needed for the Saints, who couldn't really get any offense. A big solo play there, another hero play, which was so needed, and now we're tied up at 1. Back to even Stevens, but Saints can't get too overconfident here. Still a lot of Rocket League 2 play. Would love for them to put in another one and take a lead, and then play from the front foot, which we know they are so strong from. But I have to be careful near their net. Cumberland putting on a lot of pressure. Still good defense there from the Saints. Only a minute 38 left in this game. It's been relatively even, both teams capitalizing on their big opportunities, but now Saints looking to start the attack. Arju tries to get it over to a teammate. Cumberland there to defend just in time, but Zai still gonna keep on the aggression. Polar trying to win down that 50. Good job by Arju. Gets it into the middle. There's a player flying through, but the shot won't be on target. Zai now trying to start the attack. Cumberland throwing all of their bodies at the ball, making sure nothing gets through with a minute to go. Both teams still in this game 1.
And Cumberland, realizing that they face off against the Saints right now from losing against Concord, they understand that they are fractured a little bit. They're not at their peak potential, and this gives them a little bit of hope in their mental state to think, you know what, we can come back after this. We can take them out of the tournament. And to say that we took the first tournament winners of the Open 1 out of the third Open would definitely be something to note, but not if Jazzy has anything to put forward, as he puts a save on to his scoreboard. Now, Polar looking to follow that up, keep the aggression on the side of the Saints, keep the ball on their side as well. But next misses the ball there, now leaves it over to Jazzy. Doesn't have a lot of boost to follow this up, but is going to do it anyway. Steals the 100 boost from the side of Cumberland, and now looks like it's in the front of the net a little bit, but Polar is going to bang it out to Knight, who actually backs off of it and doesn't go for it because he doesn't have a lot of boost, so Polar has to follow it up, and now Arju from the back, 10 seconds down counting, goes for the musty flick, gets it over Knight, trying to pass it out to Sai, but Next is there to block it, there to follow it up yet again, and Arju stolen the 100, looking to get it past one. He does at 1 second. Sai is there. Does he get another double tap off of that? No, it looks like Next is going to be the one to drop it down, and we have overtime.
Game 1, overtime. What a way to start off this series. Both teams looking good. Saints, I would say, looking a little bit better. They're on the attacking end. Nice bump there from Arju. We see that happen from him time and time again, but the defense is solid from Cumberland Saints, though. Still on the aggression. Jazzy could get a nice pass over, but good defense by Cumberland Saints. Now have to hurry back. Arju will slow down the attack of Cumberland very early on in its tracks. Nightja taking it over one defender. Bit of a stalemate here with Arju as a nice 50 here over to Polar. Cumberland finally get it out of their own half. Saints forced to reset. It really feels like the Saints have been on the aggression and should be taking this first game. Is just a matter of time as Cumberland really struggling to get any type of offense going, but one mistake is all it takes, and Polar trying to make something happen out of nothing. Knight trying to stop the attack here for the Saints. Gets demoed out. Polar and Zai take each other out, which is going to give Next plenty of time with the ball. Let's see how he decides to start this attack. Takes over his defender. Zai has to make a challenge here, but it's still moving forward. Last man standing over here is Jazzy. Going to get it over to his teammate as they cleared out Zai. A little bit too slow for that one. Could not find the shot on target there. Polar flying out of nowhere, stopping that attack. It's complete chaos right now. Neither team finding the upper hand.
No, and we've seen a lot of opportunities out from both teams to try and make some passing plays, and it looks like Arju and Sai are going to be the one to set the pace. A beautiful pass from Sai to the back, and then Arju just there to lay it down. Lands it in the net, 2-1 to finish out this first game, giving the Saints the lead. This is something that we haven't seen all day yet, but I'm glad that we see it now, and I'm glad that the Saints are finally getting into that state where they're starting to work together as a team, starting to force for each other, and starting to work together.
Yeah, much needed goal there from the Saints, and they finally take their first match of the series here. 2 more to go, but a good, resilient first game from both sides. Defensively, a good game. Not many mistakes on the defense, and Saints definitely had a lot more opportunities offensively. Felt like they were the more aggressive team. I said it was just a matter of time. It felt like before the ball went in the net, and there it is. Great job by the Saints. Starting off a game 2 here. Let's see if the Saints can continue their very attacking game plan here and keep Cumberland from getting into their own half.
I mean, they are on aggression right now. They're on the Cumberland side, but it looks like Next is going to stop that as he takes it all the way down the field to the St. Clair Saints side. But Sai and now Arju are going to follow that up, keep it back on their side. Arju's going to steal the 100 out from Next, who now has to back up and get some boost somewhere else. Sai is on the ball. Next beats Next, leaves it for Jazzy, but Knight is able to get a super save from the inside of the goal.
Oh, what a
Jazzy from the right side finds a pinch off of the attacker to land it straight into the goal. What a way to get a lead in this game.
Yeah, that's definitely what the Saints need. I felt like the series before, that was something that would go against the Saints. But this time, what a play there to get a quick, easy goal for the Saints. I thought the shot before was going in, but that was an amazing save by Nightja. But as now the Saints have really turned it up a notch, had another dangerous opportunity here. But one thing they have to be careful about, not to get too aggressive, not to get too cocky, because Cumberland is a team that can definitely strike out of nowhere. Look at all these demos. Gives a wide open net. Arju gonna take it in. I believe it was Jazzy nuking the whole back line there, and he's gonna double the Saints lead with that one.
Yeah, well done to Arju getting that goal. And I mean, it's opportunities like that. I mentioned it early in the first game that those demos can create some great moments for you to get your ball in the net, and that just happened for Arju because his teammates were there to support him and get the others out of the way. But now Polar looking to answer back swiftly with an attempted double tap, and Knight there to assist him. Doesn't find the goal just yet because Arju is there in the sky as well to get it out of their possession, and Jazzy's close to follow. Doesn't have a lot of boost and misses it and almost
Oh!
lands it in the net off of an awkward touch from Arju, but well done to keep it out of their side. Now, next up to the ball, looking for a double tap off of the side to try and find the goal, but now it's left up to Polar. He hits it up high, looking to drop it down low, but it looks like Arju's going to be the one to drop the beat, and now Sai is up to it again. Gets beaten out by Nex, also beats out Jazzy, and now Polar is going to be the one to lay it down and find their first goal on the board.
It feels like Cumberland's hit their stride in this last minute or so. They've been attacking very, very heavily as Saints just cannot withstand the pressure that the Cumberland players are putting forward. But still, Saints lead 2-1. They don't really need to worry too much. They can put one more home. We'll get that 2-goal cushion again. But next, having a bit of an opportunity there. Could have maybe put it home for Cumberland, who are still on the attacking side of play here. Saints have struggled for the past minute or so to get the ball out of their own half, get it out of danger, and when they struggle to do so, that's when they see their biggest problems occur. It's going to be now in the corner here. Zai going to pass it over. Nobody's there for the shot. Next looks for the clear. Jazzy gets it over his defender, but Knight is there for the defense and gets it around. And the attacking player Zai goes for the cross, but Nex is there for the defense, who's going to start an attack by himself. Defense is there from Arju in time as the full court threat was there. Zai gets a bump in midair. Polar will be the first to this one. Jazzy, though, gets a crucial 50 to make sure nothing more of that comes. Saints lead 2-1 more than halfway through the second game.
You know, they're leading, but it still feels like that they're slowing down and they're feeling I want to say a little heavy at least, because there's been times where we've gotten great clears out from this side of St. Clair, but then nobody has been quick enough to react to it. And that could just be from communication, that could be from the game itself, that could be just from timing, but either way, they're seeming a little slow on their connections, and that definitely has to tighten up. They have to get a little faster with that, because that's how they're going to extend this lead, and that's how they're going to win the next couple of games to send it off throughout the bracket. But now they've got Cumberland to go through, and they have one game on the board, but can they set another one? They're still setting the opportunity to do so, but I think Cumberland are looking to come back. A great clear out, and unless Jazzy is there quick enough to it, which he is, finds a save, and now is going to find it all the way down. Going to look for a bump as well, as Arju is there to find it, a shot, but doesn't find the goal because Polar is there, the iceberg himself, to make the save. Now Sai has to make a save himself. A pass out from Polar to Knight to try and get it in, but now a save out from Arju, finds it back on his side, but is quickly taken out of the game by Knight. Now next, onto the ball, tries to get over one, tries to get over Sai, doesn't find Sai, but now Polar is onto it, finds it in the corner, trying to clear it out for a teammate, but it's cleared out by Jazzy. Now Sai on the ball, let's see if he can find anything, doesn't find anything just yet, there to try and get it past Nex. Looks like nothing has happened just yet. They're still in the corner, but Arju is there to get it out, and now it's cleared out, coming towards the Saints side. Looks like Arju is going to try to stop it, going to try to pinch it, but doesn't come out. Now Jazzy, with zero boost, just has to bang this all the way down and try to find a demo onto Nex. A double demo, Polar to Arju and side to Nex, might open it up for Knight, who passes it out, but intercepted by Arju. A follow-up from Nex from the sky sends them 2-2 with 26 seconds left.
I mean, I feel like with 30 seconds to go, Saints should just drop all their members back and just try and play a bit defensive. Keep the ball up. Don't let Cumberland really get control of it, and they failed to do so. Now we're tied up at 2. Cumberland has been way more aggressive for the past little while with the Saints lead. I mean, it makes sense, but now Saints have to get back into their offensive game plan. Have to be careful not to concede. If Town was on target, that could have been a game-winning goal for Cumberland, but with 10 seconds remaining, it looks like we might be going to another overtime here. A very close series between two very evenly matched teams from the look of things. Unless the Saints can put one home here, doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Should get spiked down here in just a second. We're going to our second overtime, Wyatt, tied up at 2 apiece.
I think that is 3 overtimes in a row that the Saints have now been
Yeah.
in. Their last game against Concord, and now their second game against Cumberland. But it's working out for them. They love the overtime, and Arju is there to end it quick within the 7 seconds that he has off the pass from Jazzy. What a way to take their second game. Only one more way to going through to the next round in the bracket.
And I think it might be 4 overtimes in a row. It's been a lot of overtimes here. I mean,
It's going through my head. It's all meshing together. I can't remember. I can't figure out which overtime was after the other. But yes, Theo, there've been so many overtimes, and that's just shown how relentless the Saints are and how much of a powerhouse of a team of Cumberland they have to face.
yeah, I mean, Saints are up 2-0 in that game. They were feeling good, but Cumberland made great adjustments to come back into it. It just feels like overtime rolls around. Cumberland maybe get a little bit too nervous, get in their head a little bit too much, and Saints easily, quickly swoop in, pick up the game-winning goal. As now they're on series point. Cumberland playing for their tournament lives, trying to stay alive here. Looks like Zai is going to get Saints off to a very quick start. The follow-ups there from Arju, and again off the kickoff, you can see Saints made some big adjustments as they're the ones scoring off them.
That is the moment where your hero plays work for you, because those are the times where you can send someone up like Sai to just dismantle the defense when they are fractured, and then allow someone like Arju to come in afterwards where they don't have positioning, they don't have boost, they don't have anything, and he's just able to slip it right into the goal. But now Cumberland, down 1, they have to come back in this or else their run will be over for them in the third qualifier for CRL. Now Arju on the ball, looking to halt their attack, but Polar is there to keep possession and keep on the ball, looking to get it over to Knight. He does, but Jazzy is there to cut it out, and now Sai taps it up into the air, but Knight is going to get Jazzy out of the game now, and now it looks like it's in the front of the net for Cumberland, but it's cleared out a little bit, back on the side of Saints now. Jazzy passed it out to Arju. Arju's in the air, looking to get it past 1. He does, and now Jazzy is out there, got one tap on the back, tries to get another one, doesn't just yet. Now Sai is on it again, Knight again for the save. He's gotten 2 so far, back to back, and now he's looking to keep possession of the ball and follow it up past Arju, but then Sai is in the mid ready, and Jazzy close to follow, gets it off the back, but Nex is there for the quick cut save to the side, and St. Clair Saints are just laying down the aggression, and Cumberland just have nowhere to go, but they are making save after save heroically to keep themselves in the game.
I'm loving this from the Saints. They're not giving Cumberland a single inch of a fresh air. Finally, they get some air. They get a shot on target. Arjo is there with the save, but Saints feels like they should be having more than one goal in this game. They should look to tack on and try and secure their place in the next round here. Try and get over to the losers semifinals here. It's just what these teams are playing for. Saints putting all the aggression there. Zai flying in out of nowhere, picks it up off the assist from Jazzy, and yet again the Saints are able to double their lead to 2.
Knight just did not have the right flip onto the ball, and then Sai just got a beautiful 50 and landed it in the net. Now, they still have a lot of time on the clock for Cumberland, so it's not over just yet. In losers quarterfinals, they can still come back from it, but Saints are bringing a lot to the table and demanding a lot from Cumberland to keep them in this bracket, and I'm not too sure if they can meet the demand, but Knight might be the one to answer my question there as he gets a bump out, but Arju is quick there to get it out of their side and relieve some pressure for his teammates. Now, Nex and Polar onto the ball. Looks like Nex just missed it a little bit, had more boost, but now Polar was 0 at the moment. Had to make a save, and now Sai is onto the ball, trying to get it in the front of the net to leave it for one of his teammates ready in the mid. Arju next to fill that position to try and clear it out for Sai, but Sai misses it, and now he's got 100 boost. Now Jazzy is back to play the defensive savior, trying to get it out of their side, and Arju is there to support him. Gets one tap, tries to find a demo or a touch after that to get someone out of the pitch, but no. Nex is now onto it, finds it off of the backboard, but is disrupted by Jazzy, and now Sai is up to the ball, looking for a flip reset, doesn't get it, leaves it for Jazzy though, and now Arju is the only one back. Sai is going to pass it right over to Arju. He doesn't have a lot of boost now, and it's going to leave it to Polar to clear it back out.
2 more minutes is all the Saints need to hold on to go to the next round. Cumberland are going to be in full desperation mode. Shouldn't be too too surprised if we see Cumberland go over aggressive and triple commit to an attack here or there. And I think that's exactly what we saw there. Zai takes it one on one over his defender. Nobody there to help the poor defender around the Saints. Looks like they're going to be wrapping this one up. They get a 3-goal lead, a minute 50 away from the next round.
The Psycho himself finding so many goals this game and giving them a really big lead to essentially claim this third game. Cumberland have a lot to come back from, 3 goals down, and now with a minute and 40 left, it seems like they do not have enough time to make any mistakes here. They have to be on point, they have to be perfect, and they have to get past the Saints' aggression, which may not be possible unless Polar and Knight have anything to say about it. On the aggressive side, Polar doesn't have a lot of boost, going to try to get it out for his teammate, has an awkward touch, trying to land it on the ground, but now Knight is up to it, has 0 boost yet again, and next, just in the middle of the field, just jumping up, trying to predict it. You can't be doing that. You have to be playing concise. You have to be playing like Knight, who's up to the ball, finds it over one, but is bumped out, and now next is on it, but Arju is there for the save, and Sai close to follow, down to Arju, who has the 100 boost from the mid, looking for the flip reset, finds it over Polar, and now next and Knight are in the back, a minute down on the clock, 3 goals down. It seems all but said and done for St. Clair. They might win this unless Cumberland can have the heroic comeback of the century.
From the look of things, with Saints having all the pressure, all the momentum, Cumberland looks like they're in a very, very dire situation. A good job here from the Saints in this third game, which was the one to close it out. As I said before the series, they need to be clutch in these clutch moments, and that's exactly what they have done in this series. Able to put a sweep behind them and pull off a sweep of their own against a very, very strong opponent in Cumberland. Saints gonna have a lot more work to do today, but looks like 10 seconds away from closing this one out. Zai gonna pick up another one, because why not? Saints take a 4-0 lead in this game 3.
And you know what? After back-to-back overtimes, it seems like Saints are done with overtimes. They don't want to see that timer go the other way anytime soon for the rest of the day. They want to see it count down to 0, and they want to see their score lighting it up, which is what has happened in this game. 4-0, 5 seconds left, all said and done. Cumberland, congratulations for the run that you had, but you are going to be taken out by the St. Clair Saints green team.
Yeah, it's just a formality at this point. Next, almost with an own goal there. You know, they want to get up one on the board. Not able to do so. But yeah, there's the series. GG's for both sides. St. Clair are victorious. They move over to the losers semifinals. And they're going to be going up against another very strong opponent. Now, no weak opponents left in this tournament. What do you think is the biggest key for them moving forward in this tournament?
I think they've got to keep their pace, and I think we saw a little bit of the changes that they made, playing more together as a team. We mentioned that before, and I think that was the negative that affected them in that first game that led them to get swept is they were trying to go for more heroic plays, and that did work against a team like Cumberland, but it didn't work against a team like Concord, and that won't work against a team like Northwood or Maryville, who I am most certain are still in this bracket and still lurking around, ready to just snatch the Saints spot at any given moment.
Yeah, and speaking of the bracket, let's take a look at it. Let's see what teams are where. It was Northwood 3-1ing Maryville. They're going to be going up against Concord in the winners finals. Lower finals, Fisher beat West Virginia. Boise lost to Cumberland. And then the Saints were victorious against Cumberland. They're going to be taking on the winner of Maryville against Fisher. That series still going on. That's going to be an exciting game in the losers semifinals, no matter who it is. And, I feel like Northwood beating Maryville 3 out of their last 3 times. They put themselves in a great position to go back-to-back here, but Saints, obviously still in it, have a great chance to do so. Might be going up against Maryville in the loser semis, though.
You know, I don't want to say have some mystical force or something here, Theo, but I'm pretty sure every single team that I predicted to win has lost. I said St. Clair are going to beat Concord. They lost. I said Maryville are going to be Northwood. They lost. I said West Virginia was going to be Fisher. They lost. I said Boise State was going to beat Cumberland.
Everything
Cumberland won. Maybe there's a caster curse coming out there. Maybe the Wizard of Oz has decided to just bless me with some powers today. And if so, I'm I'm gonna put it out there. I'm gonna say that I wish that St. Clair will lose the next one. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I hope that they actually win. But yeah, that was just a very coincidental formality that I mentioned there, and I saw.
Yeah, it might be the day of the underdogs today, but that's gonna wrap it up for us today. Thank you to our sponsors. We have the St. Clair CRC, St. Clair Alumni Association, Subway, Tim Hortons, and Alienware. Thank you to everyone in the back who made this one possible. We have Adrian back there alongside with.
I think it's just
I think it's
Adrian,
just
the
Adrian
one-man
running.
show.
Yeah, one man show. The rest of the Saints' journey and this tournament will be covered by the official Rocket League Twitch stream. So head over there to cheer our Saints on. To not miss anything Saints related, follow us on all of our social medias to keep up to date. And thank you, Wyatt, for joining me on the desk today. I've been Theo alongside Wyatt. Thank you guys for watching and have yourselves a wonderful rest of your day.